Very pleasant good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest. We got Mike Lubie Lubitz. Later on, we go old school, Tony Segreto. And that's brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants. And on the ticket today, we will have Ed Garcia. Always good to get Ed's thoughts on football, sports, and other things. It has to be quelling over the fact that his Michigan Wolverines are number 2 in the country in basketball, eclipsed only by the undefeated Arizona Wildcats. Unbelievable, Lubie. I don't know if you've seen too much college hoops so far. I've seen a little of Arizona. I don't know that I've seen enough to have a definitive opinion that they're clearly far and away the best in the country. Michigan been knocking on the door. They just have the one loss. And looking at a top 5 that contains many of the usual suspects, you would have to say. So Arizona just, by the way, redshirted Bryce James. Were you aware there even was a Bryce James, the second son?
He was always supposedly the better one of the LeBron sons. He was supposedly better.
So if you redshirt now as a freshman, which he was on the roster, but I guess he didn't see enough playing time to go ahead and have this year count against his college eligibility, he was able to redshirt. We've seen this rule invoked in the past and made use of. So how many years of eligibility does he have left at that point? Like 12?
He's supposed to have 4.
What is the standard number of years of eligibility in college sports anymore? We really don't know because that landscape has changed, and it really hasn't sorted itself out yet as to what it is eventually going to be. What do you anticipate there, Libby? What do you think is going to happen with the whole college eligibility versus having guys come? I mean, the COVID thing definitely threw a little bit of a twist into everything.
Yeah. But we're supposed to be done with that.
Wasn't that years ago already, Libby? I mean, it seems like years ago.
This was supposed to be, or last year was supposed to be the last group. I guess this was supposed to be the last group. I don't know, but you have these guys appealing and suing and all this crap. I don't know. I think at some point the NCAA, which already doesn't really exist, will really not exist, and the conferences will come together and they'll form their own governing body, and they'll set actual guidelines to the transfer portal. They'll set actual guidelines, like you can transfer once. Maybe you can transfer twice. Like you see these guys, there's kids that literally transfer every year. Like you can't, like the transferring 5 times is only like, it's funny. It went from being nothing like the NFL to being worse than the NFL. Like the NFL at least has free agency. They have contracts. They have like they have understand. Look, the reality is the schools don't want the players to be employees. And I really don't know why, but they don't be employees. So what happens is they don't collectively bargain. So there's no rules. At some point, I think it will be unionized, and they will be the employees that they are. I know Segredo's standing by and it breaks his heart, but that's what they are. They're freaking employees, and they'll all grow up and understand that's reality. They'll get a real governing body that's not the NCAA. They'll have real guidelines, and they'll have actual understandings that are followed, and there will be times of year, and the NIL will have different levels and there are different understandings, and because right now there's just nothing. It's just a free-for-all, and I don't know what we have, but we don't have anything that resembles college athletics, whether it's basketball, football, maybe the other sports still give you that feeling, but basketball and football, I mean, the fact that you're letting guys who have professional experience, and I get it, they've done it for years with Europe, but we've never considered European professional leagues. European professional leagues are worse than our college. Like that's what it's always been. So whenever they did that, we sort of just accepted it. The G League is a step above college. Like if you're playing in the G League, you should not be playing in college basketball the same year or ever. Like it's just asinine. And at some point, I presume, maybe I'm naive, but this is not, I mean, you can't sustain this. It's just not sustainable. So at some point there will be a governing body. The conferences will come together. I don't know if they'll include the lower conferences. I don't know. That's the only thing that may happen is the upper and lower, like the G5 and the Power 5 may separate, because I don't know how you legislate both equally. They're just different. So at some point there may be a separation, but that's the answer. I mean, you can't have this. Like what they're doing right now, what's going on in college football, like what just did with Mensa is psychotic, and it makes zero sense. And you can't have it. You can't have, okay, fine, free for all. Okay, well, our answer is contracts. Oh, those don't count either. Contracts aren't a thing, even though in every walk of life, a contract is a thing.
This is clearly struck a nerve with you.
Yeah, well, it's just
this whole topic. Yeah, you know, it's funny. The NCAA used to strike more fear in the hearts of people that were competing in college athletics, especially the administrators who were always frightened that they were going to be investigated and or discovered to be be using some unscrupulous tactics that were in complete discrepancy with any of the parameters of the rules. And they were as feared an organization as the IRS, maybe even not level of ICE, but you did not want the NCAA even sniffing around your place. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you're with the NCAA. Nice to see you. No, we don't do any of that here. Don't worry about it. You don't need to look into it. And now, as you said, Lubie, I mean, the gist of what you're saying is that they've been rendered utterly powerless, and you have an overthrow of a regime, so to speak, where now it's up to the people that have kind of taken over to formulate some kind of ruling body where people can conform to the rules if they really do want to preserve not just equality, but some semblance of decency in the way these sports are conducted. So we'll see. I'm with you. Maybe some limitation. A guy that's played for 6 different schools across his 7 years of eligibility does seem a little bit out of sorts with what we imagine. And all of this is due to the fact that they use this cloak of amateurism forever and refuse to concede even the little concessions, if you will, that the players were looking for. Yeah, and sure enough, it ended up biting them right in the ass. And now the organization is there even ahead of the NCAA? I don't know. So it's an interesting landscape. And like you said, the people that are taking advantage of it, nobody did better at it in terms of figuring out what's going to work than Kurt Signetti there at Indiana, who turns a program around from a perennial doormat, not even an afterthought, not even an asterisk, not even in the addendum bibliography. I mean, oh yeah, Indiana also played football to a national champion, and we'll see where it goes from here, whether he's able to sustain that. Because
this is impressive. We've had people pulled over. We've had
yeah,
people in hospitals. We've had people getting out of hospitals.
yes,
We now have Andy chatting, waiting to be done surgery on.
yes, that's unbelievable. I just sent him a text thinking he was already under the anesthesia because he sent me something about 7 this morning that, and you can forgive him for forgetting what day it was because he was saying he won't be available for trivia today because he's being wheeled into an operation.
Oh, Jesus.
And we wish him all the best. I don't know. That guy goes through as much stuff. He's taken more punishment than Tex Cobb.
100%.
Unbelievable. And still is hanging in there, waiting for Carlos Padilla to mercifully stop the fight. But we don't want it to stop for Andy. So one of our favorite people on the planet. All right. Last night, are you going to get your impossible dream, Lubie? To dream the impossible dream.
Fans are losing their mind, man. Because to me, the John Moran thing is actually more interesting.
Yeah.
And what you'd have to give up to get Ja is so much less than Giannis that you're a playoff team now. Just think if you, and I get it, he's a head case. I get it, he's a mess. But there's something to me about the guy that's motivated. I know, not the chip. He's not a chip. He's not a chip guy. He was a second overall pick. But the guy that screwed around, like Darnold, his is more on the playing field. But Ja has never fallen off on the court. He's just off the court. He's a disaster. Like, to me, that guy who's motivated to turn things around, and you get to keep pretty much your entire team intact. And in Eastern Conference, that's a disaster. I'm more interested in that. The Giannis stuff at this point, like what you'd have to give up, it's just such a circus. I really don't think he's even going to get moved at this point. That it's like, I'm okay. I've almost just accepted that the Heat aren't going to get Giannis, but Heat fans are losing their minds. It's like crazy.
The picture that was painted yesterday on the show, and very brilliantly so, by one Ethan Skolnick, because I watched much other analysis about the situation with Giannis Antetokounmpo, including what's the guy's name now? I'm blanking on Charemba or whatever his name is.
Shams, Charania, Shams. Just
Charania.
Everyone calls him Shams.
Thinking of Chip Chirimbus, the handicapper from the old.
I jumped in. Shams. Everyone calls him Shams.
Yeah, he seems to be knowledgeable. I don't know. He took over for Woj, who
No, he's good.
was widely respected. He doesn't. Is he telling you stuff that you otherwise wouldn't know, or is he just
has an
sort of
agenda.
gathering consensus information? What do you make of this guy?
He just got big real fast, and I think he's just trying to please ESPN. So he breaks news constantly, and you're sort of saying it like it's like Schefter for a while there. At least, like he's breaking news that's not broken news. It's just
who's really shocked you. I mean, one of the best pieces of inside information in terms of insider type of reporting actually was done, and it was many years ago by Stephen A. Smith, when he correctly predicted that the big three were coming together for the Miami Heat.
Yes.
And this was prior to that being an overwhelmingly popular sentiment. And we still didn't know. Did we know it when he sat down there with Jim Gray, LeBron, that he was coming to Miami? Did we know
I
for sure that that was his destination? I think so.
People did. I thought it was New York or Chicago, or he's staying in Cleveland. That's what I thought he'd do.
So
I
there
thought
was some element of surprise for you in the
for
decision.
me, yeah, because again, I thought keeping Wade and getting Bosch would make the Heat a top 2-3 contender, and I was like, okay, that allowed Wade to really show that he can do what the LeBron stuff, because he was right there with LeBron. He was right there every year, MVP. He led the league in scoring. He just, after Shaq, they couldn't surround him with anything. So I was like, okay, you get Bosch, you'll have money to play with. They'll be really interesting. The Bulls with Rose, and then you had the Knicks with, he loved Marmelo, and he was really good. He was cool with Amari. So it was like, I didn't think he'd go to the Heat. Like, I really didn't see it. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
All right. Well, yeah, he ended up making that decision, and
Stephen A.
I
nailed it.
don't know.
Stephen A.
That was a huge. I guess it was a surprise. I'm thinking back when I was watching that. I couldn't wait for the show to end. I thought that. Did he do an hour show on that with Jim Gray, where they just kind of beat around the bush forever, and then finally?
Literally. And they took commercials more than it was an NFL game, and they waited to the last. All right, when we return,
here we go. Here's the envelope.
It was like 7:58:50, and it was like, you're still stretching this.
How can anybody? I'll never forgive LeBron for that. I'm a big LeBron fan, actually. I know people don't like everything that he has to say or whatever, but in general, I think this guy has acquitted himself extremely well. And as an athlete, looking at what he's doing, is he 41 now? Lubie, he's in the NBA, and he's averaging about 20 points a game. I think he was just named to the All-Star team as a backup, not as a starter. Was that the first time he wasn't a starter in the All-Star game? Possibly. But the All-Star game has been reduced to something that, as unwatchable as it may have been in terms of you tuned in to watch stars play basketball, you don't mind seeing them excel offensively. But when the defense isn't even token defense, the kind of token defense you play at LA Fitness when you're playing one-on-one with one of your 70-year-old friends, yeah, token defense. It's not even that. I mean, it's not even up to that level there. You look like Rodman in the gym there compared to what they do in the All-Star game. These latest versions of it, I don't even get it. You know, when they stopped doing East versus West, at least that had some semblance of a competitive thing, depending on which side of the country you live on and which teams you're a fan of. But yeah, I'm thinking, did he make the All-Star team as a starter in his rookie year, LeBron James?
I don't know.
That would have been maybe the only year you could have seen where he wasn't a starter in the All-Star game.
I don't know.
He never really was injured that I remember in the first half of the season.
No.
So he does make the squad, which was good. But yeah, that was torture to torture you and make you watch almost an hour of Jim Gray. Not just it wasn't even the usual Jim Gray. It was Jim Gray in that Tom Brady show suck up position that he's in.
Yes.
Where here he is, the ultimate attack reporter. Any other time, hey Pete, you bet on the games, didn't you? You want to admit it right here?
Yep.
You went from that guy when he was doing those Tom Brady radio halftime shows.
Oh my God, those are rough.
Oh my God! Oh, Tom, it was like the LeBron, the Beyonce press conference at the Super Bowl. Which when is the Bad Bunny one? Is that usually Thursday, Louie? Do you remember what day those things were?
Like
We were already there for like a while to
it's usually because it's not the first day we do stuff. That I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday, because we usually were gone by Friday. So it's either today or tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. So I'm curious. I'm hoping they do it, and I'm curious to see how he handles it.
Brian says that LeBron was not an All-Star in his rookie season.
Yeah, because remember, he was good, but he wasn't great. Like, I think Wade was better out the gate than LeBron was. Wade had a game-winning shot to win a series, and almost took the number one seed out the playoffs his rookie year. Wade was better that year. I think they gave LeBron the rookie of the year just because, but I think Wade was better that year. LeBron was good, but he wasn't like elite his rookie year.
What do you make of this? He who celebrates too much. The Heat had this 20-year celebration for their championship that they won in 2006. Brought back a lot of people. This was on the heels of a Heat Gala, which I'm assuming is a massive charitable fundraising endeavor, which the Heat should be very proud of. I don't know. I'm assuming the Mick seems like such a level guy in terms of who he is versus, and he doesn't go out of his way to represent himself as some big shot. I mean, you talk about a humble guy. I still will never forget, and I've mentioned it many times, when we offered to send a limousine for him. He was going to do a one-on-one, 1-hour interview with me, and he didn't do a lot of interviews, Mickey Harrison. You don't see a ton of Mickey Harrison interviews, do you?
Oh, never.
No.
I don't even know the last time I saw. I mean, barely see Riley.
This was years ago, and I was I probably was at WIOD back then, and I was at the Flagler Dog Track, the then Flagler Dog Track, now Magic City Casino. Might have even changed names again since it was purchased. I think a couple of years ago already. Anyway, so I had a friend who was in the cruise industry, and he was good buddies with Mickey Harrison, and he says, "Hey, I'll try and convince Harrison to show up and do your show one day." So he does. And at that time, I don't recall ever seeing any Mickey Harrison interviews. And so he offered a limousine for Mickey Harrison to drive himself to the Flagler dog track, which is not in the most favorable of neighborhoods necessarily. You're talking about, yeah, it's right there at border, I guess, of Little Havana. I don't feel unsafe when I go there.
No, it's
But,
fine, but it's in what we would call the hood. It's not like Liberty City, but it's
yeah, you're not on Bayview Drive going to the
not
country.
South Beach. It's in
Not
the
very
middle.
Harlem. I don't know. I mean, but whatever you. Let's say that you wouldn't necessarily think of Mickey Harrison driving around
No,
in a Bentley
no.
and pulling into the dog track. And sure enough, we offered to send a limousine for him, and he was just like Rick Pitino, very humbly declined and said, "No, it's okay. I'll drive myself." And I remember doing that interview, and it was as interesting an hour as I've ever done with anybody. I really had a great time talking to Mickey Harrison. I thought he was a great guy, and so he sort of has sustained that. Right, he makes the one move that every franchise should make. Now, some people are questioning, and will this come into question again in your mind, Mike Lubie, the biggest Heat fan on the planet, and a very harsh and scrutinizing Heat critic? If Riley whiffs on all of this stuff,
Yes, if they don't get
how
either,
does that reflect on him? No, they have some. I hate this term. This is one of my least favorite sports terms. They have some. Can you say it, Lubie? I can't even bring myself to say it. It's
pieces,
like Maynard G. Krebs here. Nice pieces.
pieces. Oh, you don't like that phrase
I don't
either.
even know if they have nice pieces. Did I just have pieces? I think they have pieces of a dream right now, which is like they might be pipe dreaming that this is ever going to be championship caliber. So clearly, some bold move in the NBA, especially, probably needs to be made. Does Giannis put them in that position? I don't know that John Morant does.
See,
I'm
the
not
reason John Morant does is because you don't have to give up really anything.
sure.
So,
Okay.
like, if you've been watching basketball, that's the thing. Like, people who are looking for names, the guys that are being offered up in trades are mostly future. So people are like, oh, the Heat are giving up nothing. Basketball people, it's why these teams like these guys, don't think that. Like, Hakachonis has shown a lot. He's played like 10 minutes and he's shown a lot. Jaquez, yeah, he stunk last year, but year one and this year he was very good. Like, he's up for 6 man of the year. Like, the dude is the utility dude that can do it all and is quiet, the consummate pro. Like,
I'm laughing because every time I watch this guy, and
he's
even
like
going
Tommy
back
Chong.
to UCLA, I see Tommy Chong in the
Yeah.
Hollywood YMCA. Same
Yeah.
type of game, same sort of hairdo, same sort of build. I don't think that Chong was as tough overall, naturally, because he wasn't a pro basketball player. He was a comedian, for God's sake. But and he was smoking a lot of weed. That's for sure. The pungent smell and aroma of marijuana was often frequent in and around Tommy Chong's car as he was leaving the gym. Imagine you're playing ball and smoking weed with Tommy Chong, and but every time I see Jaquez, it's Tommy Chong in that gym. So there's a slashing. So some guys are really good in the full court transition.
He's just smart. He's smart, sound basketball, and he's now putting up numbers across the board again. So I don't know what happened last year, but again, he came off an injury late in year one, and I think that screwed him all year two. So he's really worked hard. He's playing really good basketball. Where is a really interesting talent because whenever he gets real minutes, he puts up sick numbers. So I don't know what the coaching staff spoke. I don't know what the thing is with him, but like those three dudes, if you can keep those guys, you keep Wiggins, who's played really well. People are being weird with Wiggins. Like, Wiggins put up borderline all-star numbers.
Yes.
Like, most of the time he's there. Powell is an all-star. Bam, we know is an all-star caliber player, as good a defensive player as there is in the league. Hero, I don't know. I don't really hear. That's why I would love to put Hero in a Ja trade, to be really honest. To me, that team, if Ja can be Ja. Now, again, we don't know. We don't know. It's why no one else wants him. It's why he could get him for nothing. But if he can become Ja again, what team in the East has that? What team in the East has 3 all-star caliber players? Like, what team? Like, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm being brutally honest when I ask that, because no one gives me. And then you have a depth, because the Tanekio kids played well. Hawkes has played well. Ware's played well. The Hakachonis has played well. Like, you have a lot of interesting guys, and those are the teams the Heat win with. Like, they're not big names, but they're the guys that play their role and know how to play a role.
Here's Larson.
And Larson has played really well, and I forget about Larson. So that's my thing, is it's like, if you can get John, not give up a lot, that team to me in the East is very interesting. Now, Giannis, you'd have to give up a lot, but then you get a guy who's a top 3 or 4 player in the league, and you could keep Bam, and you still keep some of those pieces. So I still think they'd be as good as anyone in the East, and I just don't see it happening. Like, the Giannis thing, to me, I think the Bucks are going to wait. What Scoop said yesterday makes a lot of sense. If you can have a team like the Thunder and the Spurs, who have like hundreds of draft picks and tons of even better young talent that are also on cheap deals, get into the fray, then it's a free-for-all, and they don't have that right now. So it's hard for me to believe the Bucks, unless Giannis is really like, I'm going to play hard, and you're not going to get a good pick, which is what Scoop was saying yesterday. Like, I don't see why it makes sense for them to trade him now. So that's why I'm sort of like, I just don't see it happening.
All right. There were some deals. The Scoop was also saying that you were more likely to see a blockbuster deal take place today than on the final day, which is tomorrow, for the trade deadline in the NBA. He who celebrates too much clearly applied to the Miami Heat last night. They lose to Atlanta 127-115. Atlanta, who, of course, had already dealt away in a cap dump Trae Young just a couple of weeks ago, 25-27. The Heat now 27-25, a very middling. I don't know. Is that better than you would have anticipated? It's really right there in the category, 27-25, 2 games above 500. You did have James Harden get traded in kind of an oddball move to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I say odd because the Clippers got back 26-year-old Darius Garland, who we saw to be a very good player. But the problem with Darius Garland, unfortunately, is that he keeps getting injured and doesn't play. I think he's only played 70 games a couple of times in the several years he's been in the league. 26 years old versus a 36-year-old James Harden, who's still playing well statistically, certainly, and is one of those guys that seems to be able to set up big men very well. So that fits the bill if you're looking to get more out of the Cleveland big men, Jared Allen and company. You do have the Cavs in contention. The Cavaliers, the Clippers, who were 6-21, I think went 15-5 in their last 20. Lubie. So would you ever deal a 26-year-old guy for a 36-year-old guy if both guys were somewhat? Well, we know Harden's been an all-star perennially and still puts up, as we said, leading numbers in terms of scoring, and he's averaging 25 and 8 in terms of points and assists. It's not terrible, right? On a team that the feature guy is Kawhi Leonard, so still effective. What do you make of that? Anything? What does that do?
I don't know what to do with that. They're trying to keep Mitchell happy, because Mitchell's another one that's sort of disgruntled. They've had a disappointing year coming off of a number 1 seed, where they had a disappointing end of their year. Garland's, that's the problem with Garland, is one, he's hurt all the time, and then also he doesn't play well in the playoffs. But the problem is you trade him for a guy who doesn't play well in the playoffs. So Harden puts up these numbers, and then he gets to the playoffs, and then he doesn't do it.
Especially climactic games.
Yeah, and that's literally was the Cavs' issue last year, was they were this roaring team that I thought was really going right to a face-off with the Thunder, and then they were just a disaster in the playoffs. And now it was injuries, but it's not like Harden doesn't get hurt. I don't know. I'm weird. It's an interesting move to try and keep Mitchell happy, so I give the Cavs credit for that. They've really done whatever they can to keep him there and happy, but I don't know what it does for them. I don't know how much better it makes them. Look, the East is wide open, so okay. I don't know. I'd have to see it work. The Harden thing, I forget he's in the league still. I know he's putting up good numbers, but it feels like they're empty, and then they're winning too. But it just feels like they're empty. Like, they'll do this so-so thing. The Clippers get in the playoffs, and then lose in like the first round. Like, so now the Cavs, it feels like we'll do the same thing.
You might think. I don't know. I thought the Cavs had an excellent chance to come right back and be knocking on the door and win the Eastern Conference again. They're not nearly as good as they were a year ago. Donovan Mitchell has been absolutely insane in his play of late. You had a couple of other deals, though, Lubie, that have already been consummated. Jaren Jackson gets traded from the Grizz. The Grizz clearly trying to clear house there, and I think if they trade Jean Morant, I don't know. They may have this now. Do they have like 12 future first round picks already?
They're trying to just load up on picks. Look, and that's the other thing I was going to say about the Heat.
They
And
got 3 first round picks back for this Jaren Jackson deal.
what I was going to say is if you don't get either, then now is the time you have to just clean up. You have to just, because Giannis was the guy you were waiting for, right? You're waiting for Giannis. And fine, if you want to wait, because my problem is if they wait till the summer, they're not going to get him. They can't. I've been confident because of the teams that were in the chase. The Thunder and Spurs have the things that they have times 10. They have better young players on equally good deals and better picks. So, because they have picks from like other teams, and like, because that's the thing, you don't want the pick from the team that's going to get Giannis. You want picks from the team that they got from the crappy teams. So, like, you can't compete. And then the Knicks may get in the fold too, because the Knicks right now are an interesting team in a wide open East. So they don't really want to make any moves. You get to the offseason, maybe they can find a way to get rid of Bridges. Maybe they can find a way to get rid of Cat, open up money, and get some picks back because that's what they don't have. And Giannis, the Knicks are like number one. He wants to be in New York. He loves New York. So, like, to me, waiting for the summer knocks the Heat out anyway. So if you don't get him now, you're not going to get him. Okay, so you don't get Giannis, you don't get Ja. What are you doing? Like, you're doing this 8 to 10
doing 25 and 27. You're looking at trying to stay above 500.
You might as well do a Grizzlies. At that point, then, this offseason, I would just clean it. I would even get rid of a Bam. I would just start over, load up on picks, because they've drafted well. So load up on picks and do a Thunder, because this isn't working. If you don't get Ja or Giannis, it's just not working.
All right. A lot of speculation, of course. Usually NBA trades that are widely speculated upon never happen. But that one with James Harden, which, as you said, I'm not sure how significant it is either way. It seems to me that you would have to favor the Clippers getting the younger player by 10 years, who still has developmental possibilities and was already very good, versus James Harden, who has maybe another year or two left in the NBA. And who knows if he is. What was a Scoop saying yesterday? He's demanded more trades. He's demanded like 4 trades already in his career.
Yeah. No, not even in his career in the last like 5 years.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, a couple other things from the Super Bowl. Normally, we'd be lining up there back in the day when we were doing the radio shows. We were at the Super Bowl usually Wednesday through Friday on Radio Row. We would get there on Tuesday because we were on at 6 in the morning, which often involved another time zone. In this case, that was a rough one, huh? It's a 3-hour differential.
That was rough because the first day we weren't able to load up on stuff, so we actually had to get there pretty early to do stuff there. Like, Rick Barry saved our ass, actually. Rick Barry was randomly there like
at 6 in the morning. Yes.
5, 6 a.m.
And as soon as I mentioned that Oakland Oaks game at the East Comac Arena, he went nuts. How did he recall every detail of that?
I don't know, but that was one of the you asked the other day about
incredible. That was one of the most remarkable recitals of anything a guy's ever done in his career. An obscure game while he was in the ABA, which was the front end of a doubleheader, for God's sake.
Yeah, before he had a great NBA career.
In front of like 2,200 people at a minor league hockey rink out in the middle of nowhere, Lubie. And Rick Barry remembers every detail. Remember, he sort of bristled when I said, I think you had 53 that night, Rick. He goes, it was 57.
I just love you asked the other day one of all the Radio Row's memorable moments. That was one of them because he had such a track record of being a piece of work, literally with you personally, that I was like, oh my God, and it's the morning. I'm like, he's gonna be grumpy, but he was like in a good mood, and you started.
I love that loosened him up.
Started there, not with all the other stuff that people with the free throw shooting or whatever with his kids that he like opened up and was amazing.
He was great. Yeah, I mean, I had come across him again a couple of years ago, I guess last year sometime, when I was emceeing this the luncheon that Kevin Special K does, where he has this basketball luncheon, and Rick Barry was one of the speakers. It wasn't really actually like he got up and said some things, and in the short time he was up there, he was fascinating. He really was. When he wasn't being a dick, he was absolutely. Unfortunately, I think the majority of people only experienced him in that one MO, which he was almost always routinely would live up to. But yeah, that was cool. We loosened him up with an obscure reference to a ball game that how many. I don't even know if the other 22 people who were 2,200 people who were there would remember being there themselves. Half of them probably aren't with us anymore. But that was it. ABA. I mean, it was really. You talk about a rogue league, Lubie, and some of these leagues that come into being right now certainly aren't of the same vagabond variety as the ABA was. Imagine that a doubleheader, and the second game was Dr. J with the Long Island Nets.
Jesus.
After Barry goes off for like 57 points. All right, we're going to come back with more. Well, we'll get into some Super Bowl stuff. Your man, Robert Kraft, got stiffed. So leg number 2 already accomplished of the
They
professor's
were
conspiracy
consistent.
theory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Right? So, and I guess, I don't know, does that validate these guys that just voted for the 3 poor players?
At least they're consistent. That's all I wanted from them. At least it wasn't just a Belichick thing. It was.
But if Belichick's on a list, I know you gave some very
No, I would have put him in. I told you I would have put him in.
arguments to overlook him for a year and maybe just smack him around a little bit. But in general, I mean, if Belichick's on a list of those 4 or
He's a
5
Hall of
guys,
Famer.
come on, how do you have 3 swings at it and miss on him? You got to be kidding me. Yeah, so the Super Bowl just a couple of days away. We'll get into that as we go old school. Scotty Scheffler in that waste management tournament is a 2-1 favorite, and nobody else is outside of double digits. He's played 1 tournament so far, and he won it. And then how about this one? The Winter Olympics, I guess, already underway. And I did see on the schedule women's hockey is tomorrow night. Women's hockey, USA team getting involved in women's hockey before the opening ceremonies, which I find a little bit odd.
It's always weird. Yeah, I don't get that.
It's kind of like we fail to mention this because it didn't get the recognition it deserves. Our good friend Christian McBride copped 2 Grammys.
Oh, wow.
But they have those ceremonies, for, I don't want to say real music, but with all due respect to the pop culture, rappers and all of that. I mean, here's a guy, a great Juilliard-trained jazz musician, picks up 2 Grammys. So he has 9 now, I believe. 9 Grammys.
Jesus.
Had a big band ensemble thing and then some other type of performance. So that was absolutely great. But yeah, I did want to mention that and congratulate him on his tremendous success there. But the Olympics are going to be underway. Lindsey Vonn, did you see this story? She like tore her ACL in some treacherous accident. She had to be airlifted off the mountain just a couple of weeks ago. Was it even 2 weeks ago?
But she wants to still do the Olympics.
She's still going to go, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Talk about a dogged competitor, Lubie. Could you imagine? I mean, what the odds of her winning with a torn ACL would be what? When you use a little discretion there, and that's not a sport to mess with. Like,
she's 40 something. She shouldn't be doing it, but whatever. It's her life.
Crazy, man. Made the back cover here of the New York Post. I was trying to find it. All right, we're going to come back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
8:37.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched. Steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated...
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
We are now kicking it old school with the one and only Tony Segreto. Brought to you by Texas Roadhouse.
Tell me, doctor.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a doubleheader here joining us on the program as we are welcoming in Tony Segreto for Old School and Ed Garcia, who we haven't seen for a couple of weeks, joins us here on the program as well. Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, we're fine. I can't speak for Ed, but I'm fine.
Let's go. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, you know what? I got to get this out. Is it me, or have times changed when it used to be that everybody would go to the Super Bowl? Everybody.
Yeah, it's a good big deal.
ESPN. And now no one's going, it seems like. And they're not talking about the Olympics, ESPN. It's strange. It's like being in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, nobody could even go to the college football championship game unless you had $5,000. Like, let alone, I don't even know what the Super Bowl would be.
I think Super Bowl tickets might be 20 dimes for lower bowl tickets.
Yes.
A friend of mine was interested in going, and you had to buy two. There was like a minimum of two, which I mean, 40,000 to go to a football game does seem a little bit steep. All right,
I remember
Great
one
package
time.
for you, 75,000 a pop. Okay, gets you through the door.
I remember one year, I had 12 Super Bowl tickets. 12.
Jesus, really?
And I was at a pub one afternoon, had the 12, and at the pub, I had selling the tickets, and my friends and all those who bought them would come to the pub and would transact right there.
What do you guys think of the game? Seahawks Patriots. Ed, what do you think?
You know, I think it's going to be a good one. I mean, Seahawks offense is absolutely phenomenal. Their defense is pretty tight too. Patriots I think is a little bit of a comeback story. It's amazing what they've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years with the transition and coaching. So I'm going to give it to, I think the Patriots are going to squeak one out just based on heart and history.
Yeah,
and there's a Colombian guy on the Patriots, Gonzalez. Like, look at that. Who would have ever thought Colombia?
Colombia.
Great. He's one of the best corners in football.
So, yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win, but I hope the Seahawks do it. I really, really do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, are you serious? I can't root for the Patriots. Yeah, I don't know. The Seahawks are scary because they're actually great on both sides of the ball. I mean, their defense is one of the best defenses in football, and their offense, lo and behold, is like a top 3 offense. So it feels Seahawks to me, but again, Ed's not wrong. Like the Patriots lore just hangs there, and Vrabel is a part of the beginning of the lore, and Drake May is sort of been doing his best young Brady impression where he's not been great, but he's been just enough. So it's hard to go against them, but yeah, I mean, I lean the Seahawks. Look, I think it's going to be a good game though. I think that's one thing where we've seen a lot of games, whether it's be because of weather or whatever. Like I think the game should be a good game.
Yeah. Hey, Lubie, can Luka make an appearance?
I just passed out, so no, that's a big game. Been fussy all morning, and I would actually, but he literally just passed out, and when Luka passes out, we run away. So no.
You leave him alone?
Yes, he's here, but he's just fighting going to sleep. So and Defo's been extremely gracious about him, so I try to keep him as quiet as possible because as fun as it is to have him, I think it's utterly ridiculous what I'm doing. So I try to keep him there as much as possible, and he's gotten into this routine, so we're going to do that. But Uncle Tony loves you and sends his love, Luca. So and Uncle Ed. So there you go. But yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a good game, and I think much like we saw with the college championship game, which was a fantastic game, I think we'll get that with the Super Bowl.
Me too. I only hope it's a really good game, and the commercials will be good too. So.
Traditionally, they have been. I don't, it's been getting a little sketchy lately. I don't know. So.
Well, my wife will sit for the commercials. It's the one time of the year that the two of us can sit together and watch a game. Because she's going to watch because she doesn't know when the commercials are coming on. Yeah. She doesn't want to be far from the TV. And hey, Ed, what can we expect from the Texas Roadhouse for Super Bowl?
Hey, I'll tell you, it is actually probably on one of our slowest days of the year.
Oh, really?
I think everyone's just, tied at home or, they're going to the big sports bars and things like that. But, I'll tell you, those big sports bars are slowly disappearing. If you've been watching the news, it has been a challenge for them to stay open. And, and I think, what makes Texas Roadhouse great is that we have that blend. We're super family friendly. Yep. But we're pushing a couple of big specials with our family packs. Oh, so nice. If you want a whole bunch of wings or you want that big salad and different things like that, I think that, hey, come on in and check it out. But if you're looking to get away from the game, I think Texas Roadhouse is a great spot as well. Get a little bit of country music, some line dancing, having some fun. But it's pretty surprising how slow, in a sense, for a Sunday for us, where it's normally about a 30-minute wait out the door all day. That's just a little bit about how Texas Roadhouse is, but it's okay. I'll take it, and then I don't have to stress, the less problems, and I get to enjoy a little bit of football.
What are you going to do for Super Bowl, Ed?
Actually got in. I am on top of the Deer Valley Mountain right now in Park City with a very good friend of mine. His family may have a lot to do with the beginning of Texas Roadhouse. So,
nice.
So we're here for the week. I'm actually chilling in their gym garage at the moment, and then I don't know how much. I mean, we're definitely going to be hitting the slopes over the next couple days, which is going to be very exciting. Except it's very, very light snow. I've never seen it so light out here. I guess it's all in Canada or in Florida, because when I left, it was 36, and I landed here.
We got 2 inches of snow. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That was the craziest. It was colder in Florida when I took off yesterday than it is when I landed in Salt Lake City.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's going to get cold again, Ed.
Yes. Well, hey, I enjoy it. Normally all it has to do is drop below 70 and the ladies are rocking their boots and the coats. Yes. It makes those couple of days of the hundreds of dollars that we have spent on that stuff, worth it. Hey, it is kind of refreshing. It's cool to see the iguanas fall out of the tree. Brittany and I were in the hot tub the other day, and I about had a heart attack because it was a gargantuan, a 2-footer, knocked out cold. I mean, I about jumped out of the hot tub, and then all of a sudden, like, the eyes opened up, and it was like, like it took off. It freaked me out. So, anyway,
Lubie was at my house once when I opened up the cover to the hot tub I had in the backyard, and there was an iguana in there. And I didn't really have the means to get it out of there either. So we were trying all kinds of.
It survived. It survived on the chlorine and everything.
Yeah, it was hanging. It was funny.
I was loving it. It was like Johnny Weissmuller in there.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And any favorite Super Bowl memories, games, anything along those lines?
I just go back to the '83 season and the perfect season and the Super Bowl that year in Washington against Washington, and it was nothing like it is today. Nothing. The game was great. Garrow was tremendous in his pass, but that stands out to me as the best. What I can remember.
What do you think, Ed? I mean, you haven't seen your Lions win one.
Right. My Super Bowl is a dream. And that is the Lions at the Super Bowl. I've been, the longest time I, would hear a lot of people, getting the chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I was blessed. Tony actually blessed me one year, and I was able to go when it was at Hard Rock. But that was a really, really cool experience. But my first one, it wasn't the most exciting game. It was a low scoring game. It was the first one in Atlanta at the new stadium, Patriots versus, and again, that's how exciting it was. It was, I don't even know who they played. But when I got the tickets, it happened like the week before. I had just recently won an award at Texas Roadhouse, and I got a call from our COO, and he's like, "What are you doing next weekend?" And I'm like, "Working probably." I didn't know. And he's like, "You're going to the Super Bowl." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And got to cross that off the list. But when I showed up on Friday, I didn't realize it was like the Super Bowl package, where I went to the hotel, and it was like Friday night, you got to meet, X amount of NFL guys. And then Saturday all day, you were just, wined and dined. So I had no idea. We had private concerts. I actually got to see Imagine Dragons, which they were pretty big at the time. And there was probably, the room was for 200 people, and there was probably like 30 of us. I was like, I couldn't believe, I was just sitting there like hanging out with them. That was just a rare experience. You just can't, when you share things like that, people just don't, can't grasp it. But that's probably my best Super Bowl experience, and that it was a non-exciting game. So, but I was there.
Can't remember who they were playing, but
right.
You were there.
It was cool. I got to cross it off the list. I actually, I'll tell you the coolest thing, and the flashback just came on my phone the other day, and a lot of people won't know who he is, but I nerd out, obviously late at the end of the night, and I watch a lot of these different chefs, and there's a chef called Richard Blaze, and he really started like the gastronomy type cooking where like he'd bring in like nitrogen and do all these crazy things and deconstruct a peanut butter sandwich. It didn't even look like a peanut butter sandwich. And I'm just like walking through this dinner, and he like walked right by me, and I'm like, Chef Blaze. I think it was kind of cool. He, that I recognized him as well. That was just it's a cool experience. Then obviously meeting a ton of NFL greats and all that. I mean, I would imagine normally like Tony was on the other side of a lot of those desks I was at, just commentating. So I'm sure you were there, and I just didn't run into you yet. So
right. We're going to come back in just a moment with Tony and Ed, old school with Tony Segreto here on the Defo Show. Back with that in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe Bees.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you.
She hit the daily.
Very calm. Think it through. If you need a little help, don't gamble in anger.
I get a panicked phone call, and he says, "Do you have any extra cash?" I go, "Yeah, I brought money with me to Atlantic City." He goes, "Well, I can't get any more out of the card because the Mustang went wild and emptied the daily allotment of cash."
Double nickels, man. She went for a nickel on her card and a nickel on mine.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Hi, welcome back to the show. Ed Garcia off on the slopes already, right? In the dark?
Yeah, I was like, bad. I'm like, we're not going to make him stick around. Let him go.
He's living the dream, then. I mean, he certainly works hard running all those runs. That can't be easy, running one restaurant.
It can't be easy. Man, I tell you what, I admire him. He is something else.
No doubt about it. Yeah, no, it takes on a tough job and does.
So, Defo, who do you like in the game?
Well, all you guys like the Patriots, so I like the Seahawks.
I like the Seahawks too.
I'm more and more convinced that they're going to win this game by more than the point spread. Could be dead wrong. You hate to have the chalk in a Super Bowl, so I just think the last couple of weeks, and the Seahawks only played the 2 games. San Francisco was banged up. They played a nice ball game against a very good Rams team, but could have lost that just as easily. Was less impressed, though, with the Patriots' victories in the postseason. I think they sort of regressed a little bit offensively. So I kind of lean towards the Seahawks. Wouldn't surprise me if New England won by any stretch, but and I don't care because I think it's a good story either way. So
You gonna place a wager on it?
uh, something on it. I'm not a big Super Bowl bettor because Lubie and I witnessed this on Radio Row last time. I was at the last. I think they've had a game in Santa Clara since the one that we went to, where you were talking about that Rick Barry interview.
Yeah.
And yeah, but when we went, we interviewed. It was the Broncos and the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
And everybody thought Carolina. They were an overwhelming favorite. And we interviewed. We kept track. We interviewed 38 people altogether on Radio Row, and 37 like Carolina.
Yes.
One guy who was from a Denver radio station like the Broncos. That was it.
Yep.
He insisted that he was. Oh no, it was.
Was it Merrill Hodge?
Brandon Lang. Remember Brandon?
Lang was the only. It was Lang. It was
Crazy man. He's the only guy that likes Denver. He was convinced they were going to win a handicap, but we know. And of course, Denver won. So, how do you know? I mean,
that reminds me. Defo, you should resurrect some of the old interviews you did.
I mean, I have them. We just don't have video to them. That's the only problem.
And put them on the air. Just a couple of seconds.
It's just, we don't have video.
Funny to think back to it because we were brain dead most of the time that we were. my one stipulation to Lubie was always, and he sometimes, he was running around frantically, so I didn't blame him. We were a little two-man shop. Everybody else has a crew of 8. And but I always told him, don't sit somebody down without me having some idea who he is.
First 2 years, I was
Give me
really
a name, something that I can look up, or you can Google this stuff. You couldn't just, you didn't have to sit there and go. So, what exactly do you do?
Because Defo's really good at. If I just give them a name and what they do, I could get away with doing nothing else. So Defo could just run. So I would actually take advantage of that the first years. After that, I was like, we would have a schedule, and you would know way ahead of time, and there would be information. But yes, the first 2 years were interesting because it's like a freaking free for all, and like no one really trained. There's no training. You just have to like go. So,
you picked it up very quickly, I have to say, because
Larry King had a deal where he didn't want to know. He wanted to know the author's name, but after that, didn't want to know anything about the guy because he wanted to interview him
fresh,
like we're sitting at home watching. So I've always remembered that's a really good way. Everybody
we did that way too, but it was by accident. Here, who is this? I don't know. Good luck.
He'd run off. Go get a bagel and cream cheese. I'm like, what?
I would leave.
Who the hell is this? I don't know. You're hoping they say their name at the top of the year. Yeah, it's good to be Johnny Jones.
You shake their hand, they still don't say their name.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, that's a problem, especially in the beginning. We kind of overcame that, which wasn't bad. And then, there were a lot of funky things that happened when we were doing those interviews. It was always fun, though. I enjoyed it. Larry King, though, I started the first time I heard him when I was living in California. And he had just signed on to be the overnight guy on the Mutual Radio Network. And he had a very distinct voice and diction when he said his name. But back from a break and say, the book is Timeshare in Hell, and the author is Mike Lubie. Joins us right now. But that was it. That was his thing. He was always author on the Mutual Radio Network, and he was very good. He was very engaging, actually. I knew nothing about him, and then years later, I'm sure you got some of this too, where you'd show up at the windows at Hialeah looking to make a bet on a Preakness or something, and the teller would, "It's you. When are you gonna get my $50 from Larry King?" What do I know about that?
He still owes me $5.
I'm not surprised. Apparently,
get it.
literally, I had parimutuel clerks screaming at me that King stiffed them, as if because I was in the media, I didn't know this guy. I mean, he was long gone from Miami by the time I got here, and I know he was a legendary guy having his shows at Wolfie's and eating the free pickles and bread, but they thought I was responsible for his debts. I don't know if you ever got that.
All the time.
And it was more than one. More than one person was attacking.
I got called into an office one time. Really, I didn't know anything about Larry King, and he said, Do you have my $50 that Larry King owes me?
Did he borrow 50 off everybody? Because that was a lot of money back then. Yeah, like borrowing 300 today.
Yeah.
So it wasn't insignificant. Now you're thinking, okay, so what if he owes you $50? But yeah, back then it was a significant amount of money. Anyway, yeah, no, he was a legendary guy. So your prediction is what now, Tony? Are you going to stick with your pick? You
Yep.
like both teams, kind of like I do, but I'm going to commit to the Seahawks winning the game by 6 to 10 points. 6 to 10.
10 points.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Probably dead wrong, but I'm not saying I'm doing that with any confidence.
No. Like, I'm leaning Seahawks too. I don't know. It's about that range. I think it's going to be a tight game, a close game, and I think the Seahawks. Darnold is a veteran who's been through a lot, whereas May's not. So I'm thinking that would be the edge for the Seahawks. So around there, 5-7 points, something like that. I think it'll be a tight game, and I think the Seahawks will win.
I just want to tee it up now. But I think this is the first time, excuse me, maybe not, but what I can remember is this is the first time that the Super Bowl and the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the rare times, yeah.
Compete.
Yeah. It's not much early in the Olympics, though. I mean, unless you want mixed doubles curling or whatever.
Rico's got to go crazy because he better have a private jet.
I would think so. Yeah. All right. We got to get out of here. Tony, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Tony Segreto.
Friday.
Tony Segreto. All right, Lubie. Early Winter Olympics don't offer much. Biathlon, you see a lot of biathlon, a lot of cross-country skiing. Every time they're out of events, which there are like maybe a handful of events you would have any interest in, the skating draws some attention.
Skating's good.
I don't know. Is it as prominent as it used to be when it was always featured weekly on the Wide World of Sports? I mean, you used to get a little build-up, even if you weren't a big skating fan. It's still interesting to see people do this on skates. It's kind of like watching guys play hockey. And you're asking yourself, okay, could I do that? The answer is no. Could I do it on skates? And the answer is an even more emphatic no. So it's interesting, but used to get a buildup, right? You had some familiarity. Can you name any American skaters, Lubie, or the favorites?
No, skating used to be a big deal.
Male or female, they're usually like a big star going in.
100%. Skating was
up to them to fulfill the gold medal dreams and carry the honor of their country and that whole thing. Which I'm a fan of that, but I haven't seen any buildup, so no familiarity there. What else is big? These international hockey competitions aren't as appealing to me as they are to the players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like an old school NHL guy. I'm fine with that. I like, in general, any international competition. I do kind of dig where the players are so prideful of playing for like Finland or Czechoslovakia, United States, Canada, that it becomes a veritable bloodbath. I mean, to the extent that you're not watching an Olympic sport that is a sort of soft version of what you would normally get if you were watching your favorite sports in whatever pro league you're following or whatever sport. What else is there? The skiing is, these downhill skiers, I don't know any of them anymore. Don't they need a star there? Who's the big star? I mean, you usually have a name. Jean-Claude Keely going way back. Bodie Miller was big.
Roberto Tomba was. I always remember Roberto Tomba, like in Peekaboo Street, were the two I always remembered. It's funny. These are all things I grew up watching and liking, and now I haven't watched in years. Like I haven't watched the Winter Olympics. The summer I'll catch a little bit, but the Winter Olympics, I don't know if there's anything that I.
Well, without Wide World of Sports, you don't have any familiarity with these people.
It's just weird. I don't know what's happening, but the coverage is just different. Like they don't make stars out of the Olympics like they used to, and I don't know why, because it's a slow time in sports, like basketball.
So who's the big skier? I mean, Lindsey Vonn got all this attention.
I mean, Bodie Miller was always a disappointment. Like I don't remember any of them. Like
nothing.
I don't know any.
All right, so that's sort of already underway in a secret. Yeah. Much like the secrecy surrounding the Grammys that were won by our man Christian McBride.
That's annoying.
Two of them, man. I mean, he's right up there with Bad Bunny.
Yeah, he has 9. You said that's crazy that he has 9.
I believe he has 9 Grammys overall.
That's amazing.
And we know this guy. That's the weird thing. He was playing James Brown at Leslie Fitzgerald's wedding.
Yes.
And happy about it, right? Sex Machine. He's cranking out. And this is a guy with 9 sophisticated jazz Grammy Awards that he's won over the years. So congratulations to him. But yeah, that's always the hidden ceremony. So they already have stuff going on in the Winter Olympics.
Yep.
It's underway. You do get an excessive amount of curling. How many channels is it going to be on? Do we know?
I don't know. Oh, NBC has a few. NBC has Bravo. They have NBC Sports. I think they have the freaking Peacock.
Now, no, they won't go away from the politics. It's too crazy. Get too much attention there. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We should have Dave Gurgly in the trivia challenge. So some fun. Our best to Andy if he's cognizant right now, if he has regained consciousness. These people are, man. Joe Casal is going through some of this stuff. Wow.
It sucks.
It's a thing to try and stay away from. That's for sure. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not looking forward to that stage of things if it ever takes place. I just want to go right out the door.
Yeah, God willing, it doesn't.
That'd be the way to go. All right. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. We'll see you next time as we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:05.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.